Something real strange started floating round the forums and socials just days before Kalen DeBoer's media day. A name came back strong. Not a player, not a coordinator. Him, Nick Saban. What you think, huh? At first it was subtle, then it started hitting harder. Sources close to Saban believe he might return. Bama still hasn't moved on. DeBoer's good, but he ain't Saban. And then boom. Right as we were building up to the biggest preseason moment when Kalen was supposed to shine. What's the story blowing up nationwide? Rumors that the greatest coach in Alabama history might be coming back. But hold on a minute. Why now? Where's this coming from? And who's throwing this grenade right in the middle of Bama's rebuild? That's what we're digging into today. And I ain't talking as some reporter. I'm speaking as a man who loves this program, bleeds crimson, and feels every win and loss like it's personal. Y'all go ahead and subscribe now. Help us out, will ya? All right, y'all, let's start by laying the groundwork on these rumors. The last few days, there's been a whole lot of talk going round. Folks asking the big question, could Nick Saban really come back to coaching? Now look, I get it. That sounds wild. But I ain't making this stuff up. Multiple legit news outlets picked this up, and today we're going to walk through exactly what they said, who said it, and where this whole thing came from. It all kicked off when Greg McElroy, former Bama quarterback and now ESPN analyst, said something real interesting on his morning radio show, McElroy and Kublik in the Morning, which airs on WJOX 94.5 out of Birmingham. Greg said, and I quote, "A person in the know told me that Nick Saban might not be done, and he could consider coming back to coaching." That one comment? It set the internet on fire. Right off the bat, the New York Post ran with it. Their headline read, "Nick Saban's rumored coaching return floated by ex-Alabama quarterback." In that article, they went into detail about McElroy's statement, saying it stirred up the college football world once again, even though Coach Saban officially retired back in January. Then came Saturday down south. They doubled down on the story, saying McElroy didn't speak lightly. He used the words, "in the know source," meaning someone right there in the middle of it all. And here's what's mighty suspicious. This rumor blew up right before the SEC media days, when our new head coach, Kalen DeBoer, was set to make his big media debut. Now you tell me, coincidence? Or is somebody playing a bigger game here? The folks over at Fox News jumped in too. They said the rumor was running wild in the background of SEC media days, even though Saban wasn't even on the guest list. Their article said, though Saban retired in January, his name still dominates conversations behind the scenes at the SEC, especially now with Alabama entering a new era under Kalen DeBoer. Over at Sports Illustrated, they brought in Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss head coach, who's been real close to Saban in the past. When Kiffin was asked about the rumor, he didn't shoot it down. No, sir. He smirked and said, "I wouldn't be surprised by anything when it comes to Coach Saban." That response just fanned the flames even more. Even the good folks at Bama Hammer jumped in with an article titled, "The Wildest Nick Saban Rumor Yet." And while they admit it's probably a long shot, they also said, it doesn't take much to stir the pot when it comes to Saban, especially since he's still active behind the scenes at the university. Then you had Yardbarker and AOL Sports join the party. They all traced the story back to one place, Greg McElroy's statement. So look, this ain't just some tweet or Reddit post. It came from a real source on live radio, from a former Bama player, during the most important media week of the offseason. Now, does that mean Saban's coming back? Probably not. But that ain't even the real question right now. What we need to ask is, why did this rumor surface right now? Right when DeBoer is taking the reins? Who gains from stirring all this up? Was it planned or just bad timing? We're going to dig into that in just a bit. Talk about the pressure it puts on DeBoer, the influence Saban still holds, and how his name alone can shift the SEC conversation. But for now, I want to hear from y'all. Do you think there's even a small chance this could be real? Or is this just another way to keep the spotlight off DeBoer and back on the legend? Drop a comment so we can talk it out. Now, the question every real fan ought to ask is there truth in this? Or is someone playing a big old game behind the scenes? Here at Roll Tide Press, we believe every big old rumor's got a spark somewhere. And after digging deep, we found 4 reasons this talk about Saban came rolling in at the exact moment it did. First one's simple: clout and clicks. Just say the words, "Saban might return," and bam, views for days. Comments flooding in, everybody talking. Sites like Bleacher Report, Fox Sports, Yardbarker, and a bunch of YouTubers know exactly what they're doing. That title? It's bait. And guess what? It works. Every dang time. Now the second reason, that one's a bit darker. Pressure on DeBoer. Look, Kalen's doing a solid job so far. His 2026 class is stacking up with 5 stars, and folks inside the program are excited. But outside, plenty of fans, old players, and media folks just ain't buying in yet. Starting rumors like this undermines the confidence in DeBoer, gets the boosters nervous, piles on heat that ain't deserved. Not yet, anyway, bottom line. Even if it ain't true, it still shakes things up. Third reason, politics. Yep, the SEC's got its own games going on. Right now, they're arguing whether to stick with 8 conference games or move to 9. And guess who's still got pull in that room? Nick Saban. He might be retired on paper, but folks still listen when he talks. He shows up at events, gives his takes, and trust me, decision makers still care what he says. Bringing his name back up now sparks fresh debate, forces the SEC to recognize his voice again, might shift how some votes go. Now, the fourth reason? That's the one folks miss the most. Testing the waters. What if someone close to Saban, or even inside Bama, wanted to see how folks would react? Float a rumor, watch the numbers, read the comments, feel the pulse of the fan base. If enough folks get hyped, if videos blow up, if the media runs wild, then maybe, just maybe, it turns from rumor to reality. It's like fishing. You don't yank the line till you know you got a bite. And right now, this rumor's got a whole stadium biting. Could be nothing, could be something. But one thing's for sure, folks ain't talking about Kalen anymore. And whether it's smoke or fire, it worked. Saban's name is everywhere. Kalen's moment got hijacked, the media feasted, and the Tide fan base split down the middle. Some want the GOAT back, some say let the new guy build. But here's what we believe here at Roll Tide Press. We ain't here to follow hype, we're here to think deeper. Will Saban actually return? Maybe not. But the fact that his name's still stirring this much noise, that tells you everything you need to know. The man's retired, but his shadow still calls the shots. And for DeBoer, that means he ain't just battling other teams. He's battling memories, legends, expectations carved in stone. Now I want to hear from y'all. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading everyone. And if you ain't subscribed yet, now's the time. Hit that button, ring the bell, and stay locked in. 'Cause here at Roll Tide Press, we don't miss nothing. And we dang sure don't sugarcoat it. See y'all next time. Roll Tide.